So Mike's very excited. Uncomfortable moments. Here they are. Over the last year, we've had a lot of them, and so has Ryan Hollins. Let's check in here with the uncomfortable moments over the last year.
And now, the Suey nominees for uncomfortable moment. STUGOTZ asked John Lovitz if he's okay.
It was supposed to be us from the beginning. And then the script really wasn't very good. And the president of production said, why don't we do it with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
You okay, John?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was going to ask that. Is everything okay?
Oh, cough. No, I have allergies, so it makes me cough.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
If I told John Lovitz he had to put together a Mount Rushmore of Saturday Night Live, people in the history of Saturday Night Live, but you can only pick 4 of them. You're only allowed 4. Who are the 4 you're picking?
You okay?
Well, I always pick. Yes, I'm okay. I always pick the. I told you I got like the allergies.
No, I know. I'm just making sure you're okay.
I always pick the original. Yeah, are you okay?
Yeah, you okay? You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. How about you?
I'm fine.
Thanks for your concern.
You've
never met.
Thanks for yours.
I've never had anyone I've never met this concerned over me and my health, so I appreciate it.
Okay, man. I'm a big fan, man. I'm concerned about it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, as long as you're okay.
I'm good. You okay?
I do appreciate being on the show, and I'm glad you're okay.
It's funny, John.
No, I'm not okay.
Finally.
What's the difference? I'm doing the interview, whether I'm okay or not.
Right.
Who gives a crap?
All right. So you're picking. You're picking.
You don't care how I'm doing anyway. What the hell are you asking me for?
It's
You don't
true.
really care.
It's so true.
You don't even know me.
It's so true. He doesn't. I love that he can spot your insincerity. I know. I love that you can spot his insincerity because you're so right, John. He doesn't care at all. He's asking you if you're okay.
No, he doesn't. He works with you every day. You think he gives a crap about you?
No,
As long as you pay him.
Yeah.
What are you allergic to?
This guy. No, I'm kidding.
STUGOTZ?
Same thing as everyone. Dust.
You okay?
Why are you someplace that's so dusty, John?
It's not.
Diamond Dallas Page gets mad at Dan.
Scotty Snyder, I was just with him up in
Who tried to rip whose eyes out there? Somebody tried to rip somebody's eyes out there.
You can't rep me up, dude. Are you?
Did you try to tear out his eyes, or did he try?
Yo, monkey. Who the hell do you think you're talking to?
He tried to tear out your eyes.
Monkey. Who the hell do you think you're talking to? I'm positively Paige. Do you think I'm going to flame your garbage so you can scream? Right here. You.
Oh, no.
Jesus.
John Oates says he would pay to see Chuck Berry after Chuck Berry's death.
Give me the musician that John Oates right now would pay top dollar because he has to see that musician.
Chuck Berry.
Okay. Yeah, well, we can't do that.
Saved by the Bell star Mark Paul Gosselaar puts STUGOTZ on the spot.
When people talk about Saved by the funny thing is I don't remember. Like, Stu, what's your favorite episode?
Oh, wow. I mean, there's so many. This is a tough one. Because
Give me a like, you know, highlights of stuff that you.
Are you kidding me? You don't have anything for him?
Well, I'm trying to think of one. I'm trying to think of a highlight here. There was one where you and Mario Lopez were I believe you were competing for, and I can't remember her name.
Every episode.
No.
Come on, man! I'm so excited.
No.
When they go to Hawaii.
No, not that one. They're competing, and there's nearly a fight in the cafe where they hang out. They're competing for the girl. What's her name? Amber Thiessen?
Oh, yeah.
You don't even know Kelly Kapowski's name.
Yes, that's the one.
You are such a fraud.
Are you a Saved by the Bell fraud?
No, I'm not. But it's tough to remember, and Zach put me on the spot there, Zach. Mark
really
put me
did.
on the spot there, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. But do you remember the one I'm talking about where you're competing for her and you guys almost got in a fight?
That was every episode. How am I supposed to remember
I mean,
that?
he's so right.
Dan awkwardly supports LAVAR Bowl.
Another guy writes in, can you kiss LAVAR Big Ballers bleep anymore? He's a loudmouth idiot living life through his son.
Don't dare us to kiss his bleep some more, because we will.
We'll wash his balls. I don't think I did that right.
No.
I did that wrong.
I think you veiled it, right? It was subtle enough.
I mean, you would clobber me over that.
Did you do that?
Someone like you. Someone like you.
What I did there, if you really want to classify it, is identified as I made a mistake.
When did you know that you had made a mistake?
I did. Well, I would say that somewhere where it went, I would say right around where I got the looks of horror. I would say that's when I realized it. It felt wrong coming out of my mouth. Let me rephrase that. It felt wrong when I said it.
Dan says inappropriate things.
I'm with Rohan Marley, and he and I hugged vigorously upon seeing each other because it's been a long time since we saw each other. And then right next to him, my eyes scan over, and I'm happy to see someone else. And I've had too much to drink at this point, but I'm also just fingering. What the hell word was I trying to say there? I'm just remembering my lingering. Lingering is the word I was looking for. My lingering hug with.
It is an awkward hug.
Yeah.
And now the story gets good. And I'm very happy to see Edgerrin James. And so now I'm explaining to them in his company by holding up next to his face my phone with a magazine article I wrote about him next to his face. And it's got a happy ending. Well, that's not the phrase I should use either.
Jeez, God, man.
Jeez.
The story has a The story's got a good ending.
STUGOTZ asked Steve Aoki about his lack of talent.
Steve, what do you say to people who say this isn't real music, that your talent is not a real talent?
Billy Ray Cyrus eulogizes John Saunders.
Well, I think more what I wasn't ready for was the news that you just broke about John Saunders. I'm a huge fan. And quite frankly, I was so excited. I'm sitting here in a studio, and I seen your name coming up, and I'm like, man, I love this guy. I love the show. I listen to you on the radio. I love the TV show when you're with your dad and the whole thing. But when you said John Saunders, my heart fell to the floor. And now, quite frankly, I can't even move to the other stuff because I love John Saunders.
Billy Ray, let's do this, okay? Because I've already made this clunky and awkward enough. Let's reschedule with this, and let's. I do want to talk to you. Let's talk another time. Let's talk later this week, or when we don't have this in the middle of our conversation. Is that all right? Can we do that?
What I'd rather do is you just keep what I just said, and that's. I think we just did the interview, and I quite frankly, sure, I'll come back anytime. I'll talk with you guys anytime, but please keep my tribute to John Saunders.
All right, there you go. Billy Ray Cyrus, the season 1 finale of Still the King airs this Sunday, 9 p.m. Central. You can also get his new album, Thin Line, September 9th. And I'm sorry, I am someone who will laugh at the eulogy, laugh at the wake. That's one of the most awkward things we've ever done as a radio show. All of it right there.
Yep.
Okay? And
that's saying a lot.
And I'll tell you, as a friend of John Saunders, he would want me to laugh at that. Because that was absurd. Everything that just happened there, all of it, like just the starting point. I mean, the start.
All of it.
All of it. I've got tears in my eyes. I'm watching the television. I don't think that's ever happened to me before while doing the show, where we get a bit of news that comes through that is heartbreaking.
The Suey nominees for Uncomfortable Moment. Bill Spaceman Lee rips Doc Ellis.
You pitched a game on LSD. What do you remember from that game, Bill?
No, Doc Ellis did, and Doc Ellis never pitched on LSD because when Doc Ellis's lips are moving, he's lying. You know, he was a fraud based on that. He was a. If you read Doc Ellis in the Kingdom of Baseball, the poet from New Hampshire, you'll realize that he was a punk that stole everybody's meal money on the way to school. You know, he was a bully as a kid. I've known him well and everything, and You know, he basically became a mouth person for the commissioner's office in Steinbrenner and was taking drug addicts around all the day. That's all he did was babysit guys that had problems in New York City. And that's Doc Ellis, and I never did LSD. Well, I can't say I never did it, but I can say that I never pitched on it. And the funny thing is, when they asked about mandatory drug testing in the commissioner's office, I said, you know, I tested them all. It shouldn't be mandatory.
STUGOTZ calls famously transgender rock star Lara Jean Grace Mann.
I really didn't want to hold anything back. I guess I'm kind of masochistic in that way.
So why'd you want to write the book, Mary?
I guess, you know, a lot of it had to do with moving forward.
NBA journeyman and fill-in host Ryan Hollins as actor Josh Duhamel. If the Transformer movies are racist.
Josh, you're going to have to forgive me for this because this hurt my feelings as a real fan, and I know that it wasn't meant to be taken in this way, but I felt like in the Transformers before, there were some robots that, as an African-American male, I felt said some taken as racist and edgy things, or just the way that they spoke. Maybe can you break that down? I'm sure you've heard about it too, or had some, you know, possibly some small backlash from it.
Oh, come on, man. I mean, we're talking about robots. How could we possibly make this racist?
What I'm saying is every robot, every character depicts something or somebody,
you know,
or even the hit, you know, the way it was taken.
I understand. I do understand what you're saying. And yeah, you know, there's you know, that's a question for Michael. I think that, you know, there are certain sort of inflections and certain voices and whatever that could have been taken as, okay, now you're generalizing.
Yeah,
So I understand that, you know, but I don't think it was ever meant to be taken personally or anything like that, you know, but, you know, I'm sorry if you're a fan.
NBA journeyman and fill-in host Ryan Hollins as Miami Marlins beat writer Clark Spencer about the Miami Heat.
When I think of Miami, obviously you think vacation. Everybody loves to come there. Going forward for the Heat, what's it going to take to get them back to a nice little playoff run? What's it going to take to get them back to be? Obviously, it's an attractive place to live, but what's that next step for the organization?
For the Heat?
Yeah.
Pablo Torre tells a horrific hamster story.
I had hamsters that bred, gave birth, and had little hamster babies in that hamster wheel. We had a plastic cage. It was a plastic hamster wheel. So the hamsters would have their babies there. They'd be like rolling along. And then I realized that the hamsters ate their young.
Oh, no.
And the hamster wheel became a spinning wheel of decapitated hamster baby heads.
Oh, my God.
Pablo.
It's true. Hashtag con of mammals.
It's horrifying.
It was horrifying, Dan. None of those things that I described were exaggerations in any way. The heads of the baby hamsters would spin around in some sort of death rattle because the adult parent hamsters would run in the wheel as the baby hamsters' body parts lay strewn across the plastic enclosure which I provided for them.
Dan asked Craig Robinson if it's height.
Are you distracted? Because this happens sometimes with you when you come on with us. I feel like you've got a little bit of ADD during radio interviews, maybe only. Are you distracted? What's happening? Are you doing that Pineapple Express thing where sometimes you float off because you're smoking that Chiba?
No, I'm not distracted.
Okay, very good.
STUGOTZ talks into Michelle Biddle's chest.
Oh, my God. Hold on.
Why are you
Everyone
in here?
relax.
Why are you in here?
I'm tired of my islands. I need a microphone. I want to rank quarterbacks.
HR! You can't talk into a woman's chest, STUGOTZ!
The entire Christopher Guest interview.
Oh, do you view that as the work that is your favorite, or is it the one that most people cite as their favorite, if you're not willing to answer that question?
Oh, I mean, I've worked for a long time, and people like different things, and that's fine. You know, people say they like Best in Show, or they like Waiting for Guffman, and that's fine. You know, whatever. I can't control that, so that's cool.
How about you, though? Which one do you feel?
Oh, I couldn't say. That's a weird choice. That's a strange choice. I don't know. I wouldn't even know what to say.
Okay.
Clearly.
Okay. Christopher, I know what to say. How about we end this? Okay, good? We're good? We should probably end this, right? Because it doesn't seem like he wants to do it.
No,
so,
Which? Keep going.
I mean, are you sure? You want to do this or not?
Well, which are we doing?
This interview.
Oh, I love the interview.
Okay.
I mean, I can make stuff up, but I don't know what to say to a question that is about which of my things I like. I could make it up, but it's hard to pick. You know, I've done a few things, and it's hard to pick one that I like the best. I'd like to go back to the Dylan thing. I think I personally would have been offended.
Christopher, thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Thank you. Let's wrap this up. All right. Good talking to you.
I think Hollins wins.
Loaded category.
Oh. Dan's new water world isn't going to pay for itself.
So I was out one day, and we were talking about the racism in robots. That was a thing that happened?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to make sure. I missed that. So I left.
Uh-huh.
And okay.